Hi, and welcome to another interview we have here today with Magic Markie. We're here at the Historical Society of Woodstock. It's actually Halloween, so we're excited to, we got dressed up. This is me dressing up, just in case anybody cares. But thanks for coming back for another interview to talk about the 70s and disco enduro.
We're going to finish it up. We know why I came up last time from the interview, what brought me up, this, that. So you already have that, or the folks have already seen why and when I came up. So now we're going to go into the music aspect, stage two, of the music and what led up to disco enduro and me breaking a Guinness Book of World Record, which should have been at the Joyous Lake, but Ron couldn't pull that off, so we ended up at Rose's Cantina, but even well before that. So you got the...
Tell me about, you were talking earlier about the music that you played at the head shop. So you had a wide range of music that you were playing for all the people that were hanging around.
During the day and night, we had, I had thousands of albums. I even accumulated more albums when I moved up from Philadelphia because they had all the record stores down there. I must have had about 3,000 or 4,000 albums. But Mark Marshall and Lynn had the record shop on the corner, and he owned it for a little while. So every week we were going down to Sam Goody's, and he used to get so mad because he'd buy so many albums. And I want that one to put playing. I got to sell this.
You'd be collecting more and more, right?
I'd be getting more and more, not having to pay for them because I was the one driving them down to the city. So my album collection and my 45 collection was phenomenal.
Well, that answered one of the questions that I had about you. You had a monumental collection of records and 45s in the background. So that music was natural for you from the head shop. From
Philadelphia, because I was playing during my time in Philly. As far as music goes, running the head shop, I got to know all the DJs. Michael Tierson was a famous Philadelphia DJ. My father's son, Steve Leone, like I said, his dad owned a radio station. His father played classical music all day, and then Steve, the hippie and everything, would come on at nighttime and just play rock and roll and jam all night. And then, of course, the famous one that taught me, I'll get into beats per minute in a second, and how I learned that, was Jerry Blavitt. They used to call him, he was out of Jersey in Philly, the Geeter with the heater. Always carried a gun around. Jerry Blavitt, he's the one who taught me beats per minute, 120 seconds. This one's 80 seconds. Learn how to vary your music so that it wasn't like boom, 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 boom.
So in Woodstock?
When I came up to Woodstock, I play during the day, rock and roll.
Jazz.
I would intermix things. On the weekends, I would really vary it up to basically weekends. I liked it to be oldies but goodies, mellow disco, and jazz.
And loud enough so that the whole Village Green could hear, right?
All the way down past the end of the Village Green, you could almost hear it. They would say, the church just loved me. Down almost to like where Taco Wands and Joshua was. I blasted. People still came in. It didn't bother them. They loved it. Everybody was stoned anyway, even though it wasn't legal. I mean, who wasn't high back then? I know I was.
Yeah. It was part of the scene, right?
Part of the scene. Finally, a couple of years in, after 1969, 70, 71, Ron Marions and I became really close. And he says, I think we could do a disco. How do you think a disco would work on a Tuesday night? Not much happening on Tuesday night. I says, I'm up for it. I got the albums. The only thing I don't have is I have the turntables. I have the albums. I don't have the quality speakers and amplifier to pull it off. He says, don't worry. Well, of course, Ron Marions and Albert Grossman were real tight. Albert had some of the best entertainers that he promoted and produced and managed. Ron was always getting some of the most top entertainment.
Right. Yes.
You get Richie Havens, Paul Butterfield, Dave Sanborn, may rest in peace, at the Joyous Lake. So Ron and Albert were close. So Ron says, don't worry, I'll get you a column speaker. Went to Albert. Albert, we're going to do disco at the Joyous Lake on Tuesday night. Mark has the turntables he has the albums. He needs column speakers and a powerful amplifier. At that time, there was what was called the Phase Linear 800, one of the most powerful amplifiers you could get for that time.
So your intention was to make that building just kind of explode inside with sound, right? Yes.
It was so intense, and that we had a fuse. From the amplifier to the speakers, we had put a fuse in there, so in case, instead of blowing the speakers, at least we'll blow the fuse and just replace the fuse.
So you had never done this before?
Not in a club.
Right.
Only from the head shop in Philadelphia and up here. So I was a little nervous, but I knew you could do it. Oh, I had the music.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they danced and they came. Mm-hmm. We didn't charge them. I got paid. Ron gave me $40 for the evening to do it. I didn't care about the money. It was up on the stage, turntable to turntable. There's where turntable to turntable started coming in. Mm-hmm. I had them dancing. Basically, it was disco from 8 or 9 o'clock till 2 in the morning. So I kept them moving real good. The thing was, I can explain it. Yeah, sometimes I had to put more padding because the record would jump where I would raise the gram on the needle, so heavier.
So that's a technicality for a DJ to know how to do that, right? I mean, that's something. You learn that as you go along.
I didn't know the vibration was going to be like that.
Right.
Now we're going to get into disco enduro.
But tell me, where do you think people came from to go to the Joyous Lake to dance? What's your gauge?
All local.
Like all over Ulster County, they would come just to do disco?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't put it that far, except when you had top entertainment. Right. Basically, the locals, and there was enough locals that wanted to get out and get loose. It came off real well. It started in '71, had the posters there, Tuesday night disco, and you knew the Woodstock Times, so it was advertised. I'm going to go off. I started with Ron disco nights at Tuesday night from '71 up until '75, and I'll get into the.
So that's kind of like after you finished up with the disco enduro kind of thing.
No, it was before.
Okay.
Disco enduro didn't happen until 1975. In the meantime, I was Ron's baby. It just couldn't keep the Joyous Lake open because we talked about it. It just wasn't going to work.
This is to do the Guinness records.
This is for Disco Enduro was the Guinness Book of World Record.
Right.
Now, how that happened was I went over to Carl. Carl says, I'll sponsor you. I'll be your manager. I got a permit.
Well, before you go into Carl, tell me, how did you get the idea to break the Guinness World Book of Records for continuous disco? That's what I'm curious about.
Ron and I talked about it one time. He says, all you do is you're in the head shop from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and you're selling all your goods. It's a head shop, but all you're doing is playing record music. Even at home, before I went to bed, I'd put 5 albums on and go to sleep. The turntable would turn off by itself. Not loud, I just had to have music.
Right, sure.
Ron says, well, the Guinness Book of World Record, somebody broke it in 1974, 75 in England. They did 500 hours. I said, I'll give it a shot. He said, yeah, but I can't do it here.
Okay.
Okay.
So in a casual conversation, he gets this idea, makes you aware of the Guinness Book of Records, and you kind of like, all right, let's give it a whirl. Figure it out.
Couldn't do it there, and I still hung out at Rose's also, where I met Carl Fisher because he had just opened up Rose's Cantina with, with his wife Laura, and he said, "I'll sponsor you. I can get a permit to keep the place open 24 hours. Can't serve liquor after 2, but he served food." I said, "Oh, let's go to Suds." We wrote Guinness, got all the books, what I needed to do, how I needed to do it.
The checklist.
The checklist and everything. the logbook, which we had to send them. So we set it up for July 4th, 1975, July 4th. I just wanted to break the record. We didn't have any set amount of time for where it was going to end other than just to break it. And it was, I had a Dr. Pugh, had to examine me. Steve Young, Dr. Young was still alive back then. I had to do a physical and everything, make sure I was compensated and I was okay. And they came in and checked on me.
They certified you okay to do this, in other words, right?
That's when I stopped all the smoking, any of the drugs. I knew I couldn't do it with drugs. It wasn't going to happen. The first week, Brett was around. He ran the head shop when I was in the booth.
Kept the music running in the other place, right? Yes.
Yeah. First week was...
Let me ask you about the setting, though. So you're at Rosa's Cantina. Was the sound booth already there?
Oh, yeah, because they were already doing music.
They were doing music, okay.
They're also, somebody else, it wasn't DJ Linda. She wasn't around yet. We'll get into DJ Linda in a few moments. Nothing bad.
No, but so the sound booth was already at Rosa's
there,
Cantina. I'm trying to see it, because I never went in Rosa's at that time. So,
and Albert Grossman still was nice, even though he was friends with Ron. He didn't have nothing against Carl Fisher. Carl had an amplifier, so I didn't need the amplifier from Albert Grossman, Bearsville Studio. But Albert was still nice, and he's still my mentor. Still let me use the column speakers, like I said, which were like 10 feet tall, like almost to the top of that cross, and with about, I guess it was 20 coaxial speakers in each one. I mean, it blasted.
That's a lot of music, yeah.
The first week was rough. I was taking all kinds of vitamins and supplements and niacin and ginseng with bee secretion and everything. I was eating right.
So you had to keep the music going. You had 2 turntables?
Yeah.
And music going, music stops, the next one goes. And you did that manually?
Yeah, right? You had to. Here were the rules.
Right.
From Guinness. 50% of the total playing time. By the way, it's not in the book anymore, but from 76, 77, 78, and 79, if you go to the library, it's still under human endurance, DJ, longest period. It's not in there anymore. After the McWhirters died, those were the owners of Guinness, New York Corporation bought it out and got rid of a lot of stuff. And never, even though my record was confirmed and in the book, they never put it back in again because it was woke. And
there's just so much space in the book, too, right?
And became very corporate.
Right.
Okay, didn't bother me. Nobody ever broke the record.
Back to in the booth.
Right.
You're alone in the booth all the time?
Yeah.
Except when Isaac Abrams came in and hung out. Yeah,
that was the day that I broke it, that I beat the 500 hours. But before then, it was rough. It was not easy. Albums were 50% of the total playing time. You couldn't stack. And 45s had to be the other. So in the beginning, it was like album, 45, album, 40, and it wasn't.
Is that because the album plays longer because there's more songs?
Yeah.
So it gives the person a little time out.
But not enough to where I didn't realize was 50%. So you couldn't stack, but I would learn, and I got 5 minutes break per hour. Well, big deal. Well, I could let it build up, but that was insanity. So even though I couldn't stack, as long as 50% total playing time were albums and 50% were 45s, I might play 2, maybe 3 hours of an album, not stacking, you know, even though after that 30 minutes, I could lay back. I had a special chair and learned how to
sleep in the moment,
rapid eye movement in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the person that taught me that, who was into hypnosis, he died many years ago, famous country singer up here in Woodstock, Artie Traum, the Traum brothers. Artie knew how to hypnotize people, or at least taught me before I went into the booth how to form and get a rapid eye movement sleep with something that I would do with my eyes, which I won't do here, where I came down where I could develop REM sleep within the album that time, and it
So
got
that
a
gave your
DeVita.
brain a little break then. Your brain got a break.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and it got a DeVita when the music's over. They were 20-minute thing, and then there was a dark room timer there that would like, which would get me up. But there was people all the time in the bar,
That's
24
another
hours
thing
a
I was
day.
going to ask you. Yeah, what was the traffic flow of people during this, the 33 and a third days that you were enduring this?
During the daytime, how I set up the music. At nighttime, see, at first I couldn't comprehend at 2 o'clock in the morning, what am I going to play? People aren't coming in to dance. They may be coming in to see me break this record, but they're coming in, maybe they want breakfast. Maybe they just got work done at the bars around here and came in just to see me.
Just to check out,
I was still a
check it out.
celebrity.
Yes,
I was Magic Markie.
Yeah.
Make sure I was doing it and I was on the legit. So at 2, disco, it had to calm down. That's when I learned it. It took me a week or so to stabilize. So now 2 in the morning, now let's go to jazz. See what type of, now we went to like Stanley Turrentine, Miles Davis, Freddie Hubbard, George Benson, Grover Washington Jr., like modern jazz, but like.
So you intentionally changed the flow of the music.
I had to.
Yes,
No one wanted to hear disco
Well.
after 2. Enough already.
Yes, yeah.
Morning time comes, 6, 7 in the morning. Let's go to oldies but goodies, just for the ride. Nobody wants to dance at 6 or 7 in the morning. So mellow, oldies but goodies. Baby, I need your love. Just stuff,
Yep.
And then as the day progressed, I would build up a little bit, play some Led Zeppelin and stuff during the day. Not jazz, just hard rock.
Yeah.
And now 8 o'clock comes.
Then it
Disco
started
time
up,
again.
right, when people would come in. So there was a flow of people. That's kind of curious to think
Yeah.
that people would come along, during, the workday or
Yeah.
at lunchtime and come in and
Right, it wasn't
see what's
totally
going
packed.
on.
It,
Yeah.
it wasn't snowballed into it, but it was still enough that Carl decided to keep it going.
Right. And then you had weekends too. So his
Oh,
regular
yeah.
weekend business was
Weekend-
going on while you were in.
Even if we had a band, I was still playing the music. You could still see me playing, but he still needed to get a band in
Right.
there.
Oh, that's
to element a little bit more. But they could look in the booth and see that records were turning. And then when the break time came or when the band was over, I took
You
over.
were there to do that.
All of a sudden, it was the 25th day, whatever day it was, I had just broken the Guinness Book of World Record, and there's Isaac Abrams. I don't remember this interview, I swear, but you can look it up, folks, if you see this interview. Woodstock Tonight, Disco Enduro, and it'll show a picture of me and Isaac Abrams, who was a community activist and semi-journalist who interviewed me in the booth as I broke the Guinness Book of World Record. I don't remember the interview.
The nice thing is that it is on, I don't think it was YouTube, but it's out there. Isaac
It's on
Abrams.
YouTube.
Is it YouTube?
You can find it.
Yeah.
Anytime you look up Woodstock Tonight, Disco Enduro, whether it's Yelp, YouTube, TikTok. I don't think it's on TikTok. They don't show things that long. But it's on there, along with your interview.
But Isaac was part of what you would call the early videographers that were doing street interviews.
With the microphone
yeah.
and the black, are we rolling? And the tape recorder that went like this, not like the automatic electric thing.
No.
Didn't have that kind of stuff back then.
Not to pivot from Disco Enduro, but at the end of that video that we're talking about with Isaac Abrams, he does a tour of the Grand Union. And if anybody is interested in seeing what the Grand Union used to look like, it's hilarious actually. But what I found was most funny is that all the stocking clerks are wearing white shirts and ties.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what?
When he walked in, the first thing you could see when he walked in the Grand Union with his assistant was, there's the Woodstock Times.
Oh, yes.
Magic Markie.
Yes,
You just see it for a
yes,
second.
yes.
Magic Markie breaks it. Okay, but we weren't done yet.
Right.
We were still going on. I had broken the 500 hours. And I'm sitting there thinking I could go on forever. I mean, I was like, okay. And Carl Fisher was like,
Was he on board with it? Or
yeah. Well, but I said, I think we should go for hell with 33 and a third days. 33 and a third is what I wanted, which is 800 hours, which was 300 more than the 500, which meant ain't nobody going to play with that.
Well, it's a big goal for somebody else to reach.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you were laying down
But 800 hours,
Jeez,
Janine,
goodness.
was 33 and a third. Get it? What's 33 and a
I
third?
thought that was kind of clever, actually.
What's 33 and a third?
An album.
An album.
I'm old enough to know that.
I know you are. And then I was thinking when I was in the booth, then I'm telling Isaac, you know what? Maybe I'll go for 45. Like, okay.
They all rolled their eyes, right?
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
33 and a third, we let it go 800 hours. No one's ever touched it, not legitimately.
So once you made that goal of 33 and third, what'd you do the next day? Tell us a little bit about that.
Next day I was brought down Peter Brown. Is that his name? The photographer, the cuckoo one, Peter, the
Bauman, Peter Bauman.
Peter Bauman?
yeah. He did the photography. Half the pictures didn't come out, but the ones in my
Yep.
book with Tom Snyder, they came out, and I have the whole photo shoot.
So
in my book.
you got in a limo?
Carl got
You
a
left
limo.
the booth to the limo.
Booth, I let Brett take over, so all my albums would be safe. Brett took over. It was over. I did it down to New York, AM New York, the next morning. It was tomorrow or AM New York with Tom Snyder. He died from lung cancer many years ago. And it was 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. There was only major networks back then. I don't think it was on cable or nothing.
And it was live?
Yeah.
Rolled in live, yep.
ABC, NBC, or CBS. I don't remember. I've tried to find out from the Paley Institute, but they can't help me out. If there's still a transcript from 55 years ago, but I haven't been able to find it.
So were you sober when you went there, or
Oh,
were
yeah.
you flying high from
No,
Woodstock?
I was.
You were still in
I was a space cadet. I mean, everything that I looked at, if it was a full moon out and I just stepped outside to look, everything to me like a cat's eye. You know how cats perceive things in the oval, not round. That's how I perceive it. Even if it was a full moon, I looked.
Well, this was under the category of human endurance. So you had just endured 33 and a third days
Yeah, I did it.
without sleep. So you're
out total.
Yeah.
Just with the little
Yeah,
rapid eye
yeah,
movement. Didn't
right.
cheat.
Right.
I did it. I said, this is it. I'm going to be on Johnny Carson. This is my, of course.
You got Tom Snyder, though.
Yeah, well, I would have rather had Johnny Carson.
Right.
I tried to, after this last interview, I tried to send Greg Gutfeld all this stuff here and everything, and the interview, and a shirt with this on it, and a Halloween shirt. He likes to wear Halloween shirts. I never got a response. I don't even know if he ever got it, but I sent it. Okay, so Greg Gutfeld's out of the picture, and I would have loved to have been on Greg Gutfeld's
Well, I mean,
show.
it's certainly you're providing the information about the feat
Yeah.
of endurance here.
Here.
We are doing this here.
This is the second part. Just a couple more things that come to mind. Now, one thing that upset me to a degree, shouldn't have, but it did, and that's why I'm up here. It's Ron and I that developed and started and mentored Tuesday Night Disco,
right.
at the Joyous Lake with Magic Markie and Wardell Curtis. We started it.
Who was Wardell Curtis?
Worse was a friend of mine, a teacher that lived in Saugerties that I got to know because he came by the head shop, and I said, I can help you with that. I used to do it too. And I figured, that's great. We got a black man, got a white guy, and we can mix our music up because he had albums too and everything, and he was good with that music too, but he wasn't a DJ or nothing. And we just became good friends, and
Yeah.
I said it'd be cool to have him up there. So rather than me, I pick out this one and he listen to it, and then he'd go through and
So
know
he
the
helped. Yes, he helped with the selection to keep it
beats,
fresh. Right.
beats per minute.
Tell us quickly about beats per minute. Yeah. What's the purpose of that?
Okay, you got a song, let's say a fast song where you're really going, and it's 120 beats per minute. It's like a fast moving rock song. Now you're going to play another song, which is the same beat. So now people, after the second song, even though they want to dance, it's like heavy. So now you drop down to like 120. You drop down to like 100 beats or 90 beats. Still fast, drop a little bit, slow it up. How about a slow song where people can still get it, and then build it up again? Beats per minute. I learned that when I was in Philadelphia. The book is like God knows how many thousands of pages. So that was it. After that, went back to the head shop, kept it up for a year, didn't do a few times I did DJing at Roses, but I was done.
Well, you kind of shot your wad, I would say, right?
I was done
With disco.
I was done with
And
it,
disco
Janine.
itself was on a little bit of a down.
I was done. A year later, we turned the head shop into the Pinball Palace. That's another long story.
Yeah.
You could do bread on that one later.
Yeah, for sure.
It was time to go. Ron knew I had done everything I could do. Ron pretty much had it.
So
at 76.
So what did you do next?
I moved and went back to Philadelphia, sold him the head shop and the pinball arcade, and I was gone. The thing I'm going to bring up is when you interviewed DJ Linda, and I say that with some sarcasticity, it made it sound like, it's one of the main reasons, like, made it sound like she and Ron, I left, she came up 75, 76. She even admitted on the video, she knew nothing about beats per minute. She feels that her and Ron were the ones that developed Tuesday night and Friday night disco at the Joyous Lake, and I'm sorry, it just wasn't that way.
Well, you know what I've learned from doing all of these kind of interviews that I do, is that everybody remembers things as it's around what they remember. And it can be different for one person to another. So
if anything for that,
well,
that's what.
To set your record straight, right? You started it on Tuesdays. It sounds like,
and it was advertised, and Getty knows about it, and it was on the posters. You know, Brett might have even find some of them Tuesday night disco with Magic Markie Wardell, like starting in '71. She came up pretty much after I left. I met her. I got to know her, DJ Linda. She was doing things at Carl's. I mean, I had it. I was done.
But I guess it's a whole new gig, is the way I look at it. You know, there's a lot of folks that remember that era that don't remember the era that you were part of. But the most important part is that you won this endurance race with the 33 1/3 days.
Right, and the lake closed in 76 or 70. The lake was done with and over. I left. Ron had enough. We were gone. There wasn't nothing no more.
And then Woodstock moved on to what was next?
Right, a Rose's Cantina shut down ahead of time. What did you chop the bar in half or something? Something happened with Carl and the landlord over at Rose's.
Right.
I drive by Rose's now. It's next to the Colony, which to me is still a brothel. You know, $20 to see C, D, and E entertainment.
It's a great spot. It's a great spot. You know, there's a lot of different spots in town.
They fixed it up beautiful. It's nice, but $20 to see, and you're not even seeing a name, you know, like Richie Havens. You're not seeing. You're seeing. Don't get me wrong, musicians are musicians, but you're not seeing top entertainment. You're paying $20 to get in, $10 for a drink.
Well, you know, we talk about this a lot in this kind of world that we work in, is that we remember Woodstock the way it was in the 70s and 80s.
That's all I know.
It really has changed a lot as the world has changed a lot. So
that's all I know.
I know, yeah. Well, were there a couple other points that you were thinking of you wanted to leave us with?
Yeah, so, you know, it's like, I just wasn't, even though the perception is different, I just had to get that off my chest that it's me and Ron, and Ron was my mentor. Albert Grossman was real close, you know, did things for me. Bearsville Studio at that time was top of the line studio. I know it's Utopia Studio now. I know Todd Ruggren sold it. It's a state-of-the-art place now compared to Albert's place. But at Albert's place at that time, he died in 1986 in England. He was a great guy.
Well, I think you're pointing out that there's a lot that Albert Grossman contributed to the Woodstock community that a lot of people don't
Opening
know.
up the Bears, the restaurant, the Big Bear, his studio. He was out of New York City. I mean, he managed, like I said, some of the
biggest
Doors.
names at the time. Right.
You name him, he was their manager.
So
Janis Joplin.
You do have some extremely fond memories of Woodstock, I can tell. Yeah. You do. And we're really glad that you're able to share them with us. I think it's been important for the history of Woodstock for all of us to be able to listen to your reminiscences, and I want to thank you for that. I really do.
I appreciate you having me again.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing else, I think, that I have to bring to mind. I think I've got everything out of my system. I think next year, after coming up for 50 years for Halloween, I love it. It's time next year
Halloween
to do
somewhere
something
else.
Halloween somewhere else.
All right.
You're going to take a picture
Yep.
of mine. You're going to. I believe, and I'm not bragging. I believe that photograph you see.
We'll get you on the wall, don't you
belongs up
worry.
there.
You're beyond the wall, actually. You're up in the Ethernet.
Ethernet is it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, and
Appreciate you having
Brett,
me.
thank you, Brett Munson. Thank you for your
That's my main
add-in.
man.
Yes. We'll get you Pinball Palace one day, that's for sure.
Richard,
Yeah.
thank you for doing
Yeah.
the filming on this.
We'll see you
And,
all.
oh my God, it's Getty.
Getty, thank you for being here.
didn't recognize
Yes,
you.
yes.
He walked in. I looked. I said, "Who's
I
this?"
recognize you, it's okay.
So we're going to say thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Okay.
And we'll see you in up in the
But
Ethernet.
we'll see you for the rest of the weekend.
Okay.
I need to sip my water. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank
Love
you.
you all.